You've spent months building your Pinterest presence, only to wake up one morning and see this. Your account has been suspended. It's like instant panic, right? I know, I feel you. But here's the twist that most creators don't even realize they're triggering Pinterest suspension system, and they're not meaning to. So today we're breaking down 5 hidden reasons, right? 5 hidden triggers that why your Pinterest account could be flagged or suspended, plus how to bulletproof your business so it never happens to you. Welcome back to the Pin and Plan podcast. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you in Canada. I'm Lisa, Pinterest pioneer, Squarespace web designer, and a longtime member of the Pinterest business community. You can always find me at the PBC. Just tag me at Body Mind Mood. I'm the founder of Body Mind Mood and the Simple Site Lab. Now, this episode is one that needed to be made because over the past few months, and even I would say like the past 3 weeks, literally, I've seen a tsunami of posts in the PBC, and I'm actually getting DMs from creators saying, "Hey, my account got suspended and I have no idea why. Help." They're literally writing that. Okay. Now, it's not just small creators. There are some verified merchants and longtime accounts that have also been caught in Pinterest's sort of evolving moderation system. Okay. But let me zoom out for a sec because this isn't just happening on Pinterest. So I am on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, and I belong to a number of groups on Facebook, both for Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. Okay. Now, on TikTok, creators are actually getting shadow banned, and I really don't like the word shadow ban, that phrase. It's so dark, right? For using certain hashtags or even trending sounds. Yes, if you can believe that. I've actually seen people talking about it. On Instagram, people are losing some reach because their accounts are considered they look sort of bot-like to the system, and they're minimizing the reach. And of course, on Pinterest, suspensions can happen for kind of the same sort of subtle reasons. AI flagged patterns, duplicate content, even aggressive repinning, or even the wrong links. Okay? So let's talk about these 5 hidden triggers that could quietly get your Pinterest account suspended and how to keep your business safe. All right. But before we dive in, I want to check out last week's PBC poll results because it was a good one. Now, I posted the poll in the PBC instead of on Spotify because I found that people were just much more engaged on the PBC. So let's do this. Last week, I asked, what kind of holiday content do you pin the most? And here's how people voted in the PBC. Gift guides at 41%. Recipes were at 26%, DIY and decor 19%, and seasonal services 14%. So clearly, gift guides dominated, which makes perfect sense to me because they're clickable, they're shoppable, and they're perfectly seasonal, right? But that also means that Pinterest spam filters are working sort of overtime right now, right? So scanning for link farms, I know it sounds awful, but it does exist. Repetitive text and duplicate pin uploads. So if you've been doing a ton of gift pins, this episode is especially for you because you're kind of a little bit on the radar, right? But let's get into the first hidden trigger that can happen. Remember, there are 5. So the first one is repetitive or duplicate pin uploads. Pinterest spam filters don't like repetition, like the same thing over and over and over and over again. We know this, right? So if you're uploading the same image, same title, or same link too many times, even across different boards, it can look automated. Okay, so we don't want to do that. You need to change up your pin titles, change the descriptions, even change the image. And if you don't change the image, crop the image, use a different dimension, and overlay text. Each pin needs to feel unique to the viewer and to the Pinterest algorithm. Okay, so bear that in mind. The second trigger that can happen, link or redirect conflicts. Okay, so this one's kind of sneaky. If your link goes to a domain that redirects too many times, or if your link goes to a page that's like pop-up heavy, so you've got tons of pop-ups all the time. I see this a lot with recipe creators. It gets flagged as suspicious, and Pinterest will absolutely auto-suspend you. And they do this, of course, to protect users, right? So do remember that. Make sure that your destination link matches your claimed domain as exactly as possible, okay? And if you're someone who's using Bitly or other kind of like link shorteners, avoid them at all costs, okay? Like just avoid them altogether. Now, the third trigger affiliate links, product tag links, right? And it's kind of like the overuse. You're using them too much. Pinterest does allow affiliate links, but too many can still trigger spam detectors. So especially when you're using them without any real context or value, think like you're just putting a pin out there and saying buy it. Right? There's no value to that. So what you want to do is you want to mix your product tags with regular pins, right? Make it sort of sprinkle them around. You want to add some educational or story-based, even inspirational content in between those pins that you create with those links. Pinterest does want variety, so, and they don't want a feed that's full of sort of like buy this, right? It's got to be a little more natural, okay? Now, the fourth trigger, rapid activity, right? So meaning you're doing it all the time, any kind of automation. If your pinning looks bot-like in any way, for example, I don't know, you're pinning like 30 times in an hour, right? Or maybe you're using an outdated scheduler. So think not Pinterest approved schedulers. Pinterest could assume that your account is automated, right? And flag you. Now, what you want to do here as a fix, stick with Pinterest native scheduler. Or even like a verified partner like Tailwind, Canva, Adobe Express, right? Space your pin uploads out, because remember that consistency always beats out volume pinning or pinning bursts, right? That the consistency is huge. So don't do it in an hour, space them out by a few days even, right? That will help. And lastly, misleading text or images. And frankly, on this point, I agree with Pinterest 100%. If your pin title says free guide, but your link leads to a sales page, or maybe your image is promising something your content doesn't deliver on, Pinterest will definitely and can definitely label that as deceptive. So keep your pins honest and aligned, okay? If it's a paid product, just say so. Don't hide it. You're in business. It's okay. If it's a lead magnet, make sure the freebie matches the promise, right? Don't under-deliver or over-promise, under-deliver, or not deliver at all. And remember, most importantly on this point, transparency with pinners, with users will build trust, and it will keep you safe every single time, okay? So now that you know the triggers, how do you actually bulletproof your Pinterest account? Keep it safe. Well, here's a quick checklist to stay safe. Now, you can verify your website, claim your domain, keep it consistent across all pins, okay? Stay with API partners. If you use automation tools, make sure they're Pinterest approved. Or use Pinterest native scheduler, because it's really good, by the way. Refresh old pins quarterly. Update descriptions, re-upload with slight variations to keep your feed healthy. It doesn't mean you can't do one pin every so often, but if you're going to do bulk, then try to do it quarterly, okay? Check the email alerts weekly if you get any from Pinterest. Pinterest often sends quiet warnings before a suspension, so don't ignore them, right? If you see them and they're telling you something, take heed. Don't panic if it happens, right? If you do get suspended, right, or your account gets flagged, appeal through the help center, but do it calmly. Don't overreact, and don't start spamming appeals, because that actually will not only make them, I guess, question a little bit more, it will extend the review a little bit longer. And really the best prevention here, make sure your content is a healthy mix of content. So think educational, product-based, and inspirational content sort of rolled in together, okay? Now, pin and plan pioneer tip of the week. This is my favorite part of the show. I love sharing out tips that I've learned over time. So here, let's do this. This tip this week is really based on compliancy. So what you're going to do, you want to create a Pinterest compliance board. Now I have one, and it's secret. You're just going to keep it secret. It's only for you. You're going to pin examples of your own pins that are compliant, meaning that they haven't been flagged, they haven't been suspended. You're going to pin pins that are approved, affiliate disclosures or good landing page examples, for example, to that board. That way, if Pinterest ever does flag you, you can easily cross-check what's changed and then fix it before re-uploading anything else. Okay, so really it's just a compliance board for you. Okay. It's super simple to make, not hard to do, and it will keep you on track in case you do get flagged. Now, onwards. New poll for the PBC, and I'm going to post this today. So this week's new poll is made up, is up inside the Pinterest business community, and it's a good one, I think. And here's my question. Have you ever had your Pinterest account temporarily restricted or flagged? Yes, and it was terrifying. Yes, but I got it back fast. No, not yet. Or not sure, but my reach tanked recently. So I want you to go vote. And I want to see how many of us have been through the Pinterest panic moment together, because I'm telling you, my hand is up right now, like literally. And I'll share the results in next week's episode. Okay. So moving right along here, and the episodes just go too fast for me, honestly. This is a PBC question and answer. This is from a real PBC member. They asked, my account was suspended for spam, but I don't even sell anything. I just do blog posts. Why would that happen? Well, here's my response to this. Pinterest system doesn't just flag sales, it flags patterns. So whatever you're doing from a pattern standpoint, that could ultimately engage the filters. Okay. If your blog posts are titled the same, they're pinned too frequently from one domain, it can actually trigger the same filters. Okay, so do bear that in mind. And how do you fix it? Well, mix it up is what I keep saying here. Mix up your content. Alternate between fresh pins, older posts, and saves from other credible creators. Because remember, Pinterest loves human activity. It wants to see you saving, engaging, and creating variety, right? Not the same stuff over and over and over again. Okay? Now, that wraps up episode 17, 5 hidden triggers that get Pinterest accounts suspended, and of course, how to bulletproof yours because it's so important. Remember, here's your takeaway for this week. Don't fear Pinterest filters. Learn to work with them, right? Follow the guidelines. If you do that, I promise you won't have to worry about getting your account suspended or flagged. Keep your links clean, right? Your uploads varied, and your automation should be balanced. So think about your schedulers, right? And how you're pinning consistency, really. And most importantly, build trust, not tricks. Don't be deceptive with your content. If you promise something, don't overpromise and underdeliver. Don't promise and not deliver. Make sure that you are being like upfront, because really, truly, not just Pinterest, but users really do appreciate that. Now, don't forget to vote in this week's PBC poll and share your own Pinterest suspension stories. I'll feature a few in next week's episode. Okay. We're going to be talking about next week the Pinterest trust loop. Okay. What the platform really does, in my opinion, look for before boosting your pins in search, and how to get your content back on track after it dips. Okay. But until then, keep pinning with purpose. And I will see you next week, and I'll see you in the PBC. Bye for now.